Hello, my friends, and welcome to this week's live stream. I'm so happy that you are here with me and hope that we will have a wonderful few minutes speaking about roses, about the beautiful flowers that we love so much. For those who are new here, I'm Sonia. I'm a passionate rose gardener here in Germany, and I've grown a beautiful garden with more than 200 roses in it. And speaking about gardens and roses and beauty, it's hard to imagine if you are new here. So let me show you how my rose garden looks like in June when it's in full bloom. And then I will show you how it looked like before I started to plant roses in these areas. So let me show you the beautiful garden in June. And I really like it so much. When you go through the lanes of roses and just get the fragrance and all the sounds and actually beauty, it is so wonderful feeling. And I'm creating this garden every year. I'm extending it, extending the beds, because I think that there is not enough of roses if you really love them. And every time when I'm at the breeders and just see new roses, I want to somehow implement them into this beautiful garden. And thank you for the like. so, so this was how the rose garden looks now. And when I started to plant roses, um, I noticed that actually roses are great flowers, not just only because they are so timeless and beautiful, but also because roses can help you to design your garden, to bring a lot of height and verticality into it. That creates exactly this huge amount of bloom feeling into any garden. It really shapes the garden. And this is so special about roses because they are plants that you can use for this purpose and they bloom. They bloom so often. The majority of roses are really just repeat blooming roses nowadays. So you can really use them so good for this. And I did for myself, I always wanted to create a wonderful dream rose garden. And I was so happy when I bought this house with my husband and when we just got the garden. But the garden was not really rosy at that point of time. It was neglected and I would say kind of empty. So let me show you how it looked like before. Shoop. I need now my glasses for that. So, okay, here we go. So, just like here in front of the winter garden, when we moved in, it was one of the first beds that I wanted to create, and it was empty. Actually, here, when you have a look on the picture, it was already after I've weeded a lot of stuff that was in there and only put the stones aside because I've been told nothing is actually growing there and can grow there by the previous owner. But I don't think so, or I did not think so, that there is not a good place in front of the winter garden to grow anything because it is full of sun and roses love sun. Or at the edge of the house, nothing really in there or in the background, very, very green. Everything so green in there. And you just seen the short video, how it looked like actually after I've now designed so much already. But I've started small. And if you are a rose beginner, you probably also started at the beginning with something that you think, okay, let's try it. Let's make it an experiment. Let's buy the first rose and plant it. I'm really curious. Do you actually plant roses in your garden? Do you already have some of them? Or are you a beginner who is just considering to plant roses, the first one, into your garden? There is not a right or wrong answer. Every rose is beautiful and every garden is just yours. And you can ask me anytime questions, just put it into the chat. So the first thing that I've planted actually was in front of the winter garden. This rose bed that I've just shown you was at first empty, and I put a lot of small dwarf roses in there. But I really noticed that with this rose, or these roses are beautiful, but something was missing. Something that brings the design, the huge amount of bloom effect, something that you just feel it's the kind of harmony in it. And I've searched what could that be, and the first thing that you could do, and it's very easy to create kind of a vertical structure and bring the roses and the fragrance on the eye level, is to use tree roses, standard roses. As in this case, this is how it looks like now, where I put just the focus of the rose bed in front of the winter garden to this small little white pet, wonderful standard rose that I like so much. But it brought really a huge amount of beauty and harmony to it. And using tree roses is pretty good if you want to design your garden. And I have another example here of the roses. You can see it on both sides. The red ones, the one that is near to us is Gärtnerfreude, new one that I planted this year. But in the back, you can see how beautifully the big rose tree, standard rose, that is called Super Excelsa, just fills this meadow. And it's really good to use standard roses as a tree. It is a small tree and it's easy. If you are a beginner, very important is to put some kind of structure or something, some support to this rose. Otherwise, it could break when the windy weather just pull a pressure on the huge amount of bloom that you have. But this is just the only thing that you have to consider. Then it's very easy to plant it, and you have kind of control over the space around the rose and over the rose itself when it's just on the rose stem. And also rose breeders use it in their gardens. Here in Rosenparkträger in Steinfurt, they have so many tree roses and really create a kind of just rooms in their show garden where you can see in the middle there is a tree rose and around it another tree roses that just make just kind of room with it, and you can for sure use it. So tree roses are easy. There's another way to bring the height and structure and design to your garden, and it is to use something like a structure where you can put and just guide your rows around. And this would be, in my case, the obelisk. Obelisk is great opportunity if you want to limit the space that the rose actually is in, but also want to create kind of protection, side protection even, from street view. Like in this case, I bought Perennial Domino, wonderful rose, very healthy one, and I bought it is for this purpose. I searched for a rose that would create this protection, and it did so. And I planted it even on the border to our neighbor as on a structure so that it looks beautiful. And I think that our neighbor is very happy about it as well from the other side, but creates also kind of side protection, so that we do not see each other and everything what the next one is doing. I hope that you understood what I mean. But it simply looks beautiful, this Perennial Domino. And I can only recommend this rose if you want to use it for kind of side protection. But there is another rose in my garden, and I have not featured this rose so far, that I like a lot. And a lot of people know, rose lovers know this rose. And it is one of wonderful Ghislaine de Feligonde. It's an old rose, and it grows, and I grow it on an obelisk in the backyard. And it provides wonderful bloom, very bee-friendly rose, and very nice feeling with very subtle fragrance. And you can see it here in the background. I do not have that close picture of this rose in my film that I've done in the summer. But you can see how beautifully it just complements the roses that are just small shrubs below it. But this rose brings the verticality into the area, and it's really beautiful, and just add the feeling into this area. It's very good rose, because it's not just only healthy, it's also good for half shady areas. So you can consider this as well. But there are many other roses that you can actually bring to an obelisk and grow. And I did a video on more of my roses on obelisk, so you may check on that as well if you want to have more um, more just ideas which roses can be grown on obelisk. Would you actually prefer to put in your garden a rose tree or an obelisk? Is it something that you can just think about? Is it something that you would like, or which one would you actually like? This would be more a kind of curious question from my side. I'm always so curious about how you are doing. Okay, so let me speak about the third possibility, to bring some kind of shape into your garden. And this is unfortunately something that I do not have myself, because it's great, but needs some space. And I'm really dreaming about it one day to have it into my garden. And if you like rose gardens and kind also cottage gardens, you must have thought in the past about having a rose on an arch, something that you go just into your garden, maybe a gate into your garden you open, you go through the lane of roses, or through an arch full of roses. But I still do have some wonderful picture for you, and this is from Rosenparkträger in June in Steinfurt, where they have this show garden. And you can see how this beautiful arch is full of roses just create so much space and design in this garden. And in particular, I liked the first one that was on the first arch. And this is called Parade, wonderful rose that is very nicely shaped, with the bloom pretty big, I would say. And just it had so much bloom, and the bloom was great. Just have a look on the shape that in the middle it's really strong pink, and on the sides a little bit more paler. But if you prefer roses for an arch that would grow high and have a little bit smaller bloom, then one of them that I've seen was Rosendorf Steinfurt. For English speaker, this means actually Rose Village, Steinfurt, and it's called after the village that this breeder lives in, and where we are actually here in the Rosenpark Dräger. And this rose I like so much because of the small bloom, the small clusters that it has. And it's really wonderful to see it, how high this can grow. It's a rambler, and rambler grow high, but you could see how many blooms they are. There is just one point that you should consider when growing roses on arches. You should put the roses on both sides so that it can actually create from both sides the roots, the shoots of the rose, and then create this wonderful effect from a beautiful arch full of roses. So that would be actually it for the three varieties, the three possibilities, how to bring the verticality into your rose garden design or any other garden that you may have. And as I've already said, it's not about growing your garden um, immediately and have everything immediately. It's about the passion that you put one bed after another. You grow something beautiful, get the feeling for it, and experiment and get the motivation for what's next, what you can just improve or add to your garden. And exactly like this, I do it myself. I go out, watch all the beautiful gardens around, and get ideas what I want to put into my garden and how I want to improve. If you had something very interesting from this video or from this live stream, put it down. I would really like what helped you to make the next steps. Or even if you have a question, I would like to hear about that later on, about the questions. Is there anything that you would say, I would like to hear more? I have to drink coffee. No other question? Oh, I'm looking forward to someone one day who will send me a question in live and will not be that shy. Sorry. Oh, here is one. Cleopatra, good evening. I'm so happy. Cleopatra, good evening. Oh. I'm glad to be here. I found you a few weeks ago, and since then I'm a fan of your channel. I am so really impressed, Cleopatra. It's an honor to be with you here, and I really enjoy you coming here and just be the first one who broke the silence in the in the chat. And it's really very good to hear or to see that you are with me here today. And I see all the others as well. What is your favorite climber? My favorite climber? I have two climbers in my garden that I love very much. It's really hard question always about the favorites. But I have two on Obelisk. One I have featured in the past video, and this was the Gertrude Jekyll. It's an English David Austin rose, and I like it so much because of the fragrance. So if I'm thinking about fragrance, it is the one that I really like. But there is a rose that I like not just only because of the fragrance, but because of the color and the energy that provides. And it will be in the next video I filmed today, and the name is Tess of the Herbavilles. It's a wonderful, also David Austin rose, and it has not just the fragrance, it's just glowing when it's in morning sun, and then it's really magical one. So if you want to put just something like a climbing rose that will not grow that big, these two varieties I would say are great. Cleopatra, I am full emotions and I do not find a question for you yet, but I know I have watched all of your videos and I was impressed about your congratulations. Oh, this is so sweet. This is so sweet. It's really, I'm so touched. I like, I'm so happy that you like my videos, and I'm happy that I will provide you also the ones in the future. And I hope that there are a few ideas what I want to do this year about roses. And if I hope that you will like it. If you like videos about rose gardens, about new varieties, about a lot of harmony and a lot of nostalgia, I think that you will like it. But I do not want to speak about something that I have not done yet. So let's see how this work this year in the garden and outside there. The issue is that at the moment, as you know, it's winter, so we cannot do that much in our rose garden. It's just only preparation and just the how do you call it in English? Just a feeling that you just want to start and grow beauty again and see how everything is actually growing and evolving. And I already have some discussion with my husband Uli, where I want to put next rose beds in this garden. So hope that yeah, I can put them as I want. So thank you very much. Absolutely. How could a rose and garden lovers not enjoy new things and all sorts of video that dance around a subject? Definitely. I am with you. It is just, honestly, I watch rose videos myself. It's just to see the beauty and just to see how others are creating beauty. It's a fun. And this is something for the rose lover that we have probably in common. That we have our rose gardens, we plant our roses, but we do appreciate the roses of in other gardens. And I like so much to see and watch how the roses look like in the not just by the breeder, but in the real person's garden. So if you want, I just opened the community for this reason, and you can nowadays put a picture of your rose and say um, why you love it, or put a small comment in there. So I would love to see your roses as well. Yeah, it would be just fun if you have a picture of your favorite one to see which one it is. How many months of preparation? What do you mean, preparation for the garden to create, or preparation for what I want to do? So let's speak. Probably you mean how many months I needed for preparation of this. Usually of a rose bed. So if I want to put a rose bed, it's just pretty simple because I usually do just only one bed that I want to create. I do not do all the beds at once. And if I decide to plant a rose or create an area, the first thing is just to make the bed. This is, I do not in particular like that much because you actually have to dig in and put all the grass out of it and just consider whether you want what will be the edge of the rose bed. And I hope that I will be pretty quick on how I want to explain it. But you can actually either put the edge just when there grass stopping, there will be an edge, but you have to recreate it once upon a time. Or you can put some protection that the grass is not growing into your rose bed with a kind of steel or plastic around it. Or the third possibility is to put some kind of small hedge in there. And I have a small English rose garden in the in the backyard, where I put a lot of dwarf yew as a just bed and protection from grass growing into the rose bed. It's just upon it. And then I usually go and just try to find out which roses I want to plant there. Just like when I'm considering the next bed, at the moment I always think of, do I want to put there a rose tree, standard rose, or an obelisk? Because I really like these structures in the rose bed. And then once I decided about it, then I think one of the rose, like for example, this year I would like to plant a standard rose, Souvenir de Greville. It's wonderful rose that is just pink, lavendel colored. It's changed a little bit bloom. So if I put it in the middle, I'm just thinking what kind of roses I want to put below on the lower level. And this would be for when I plant a very yellow rose on the top, or not yellow, white rose, a soft rose on the top. I want to create some kind of colored contrast with the roses below it. And it is actually something that I've, just let me show you here. This is what I mean, that when I put something on an obelisk that is just dark color, I want to soften it with soft color, like here the Souvenir de Greville as a shrub rose below it. And the same is here. I have the just dark color on the standard rose, and then below it it's just bean and white, a white rose. It's kind of dwarf rose. There are many specimens here, even if it seems so big. It's more than one rose here that I've planted. So it's always this structure that I use, and this would be probably how many months I plant. I go then to the breeder and plant it. So from the idea to planting, I would say 3 months, but it's just always over the weekend that I can dig in. So I hope that I've answered your question, and that this question was with regard to how many months do I need to plant for a rose bed. The next time, hello Sonia, I'm late to the live stream, but so enjoy hearing your thoughts on roses. Oh, thank you very much, Miss Rosie Lady. Oh, I know. Thank you for very much for all your comments, and also to Cleopatra. I really enjoyed to see that you like the videos, that you like what they are about, and I really very much appreciate to have you here. So thank you very much that you made it, and you made your time to spend this with me. Have you ever been disappointed by a rose you had high hopes for, whose blooms you eagerly awaited and which then never bloomed or never thrived? Hmm. I have to think which one. But there are roses that mm, that not always thrive in my garden. Usually, when I buy roses, they look beautiful. And it's just always hard to say for a particular rose that uh, it is it did not work for me. It's not because of the rose. I always think that it's because of the place where I put it in, and maybe because of that it did not perform well. And I have one rose that well, it's not that it's nice, but it's very small, and I've planted it just only in an area where it somehow thrives. But this is a dwarf rose, and it's called Little Artist. It's wonderful, but as I've said, in that area where I planted it, probably not the one that yeah should be in. I probably have to replant it and see whether yeah it will work better in there. It has wonderful bloom. It's very small one, but as I've said, somehow yeah, it's not that healthy in my garden. But as I've said, Little Artist is probably one of it. And please, if you have Little Artist, it's a wonderful rose, but you need to put it into sun and give it a little bit more love. Um, Thank you so much. I'm in the process of creating a space. Perfect. Yeah, and I will do another bet, as I've said myself. So I wish you a good muscle for digging it. And just when you do it, what I always try to plant when there was just only a grass in my garden before I plant the roses in, I do not plant it just in the soil that is there. I usually grab a hole and put good amount of new rose earth in the hole to the rose, so that I do not leave it without kind of really good stuff in there. And yeah, this is this is just how I do it. So this is maybe one again tip that to do, so that the roses can get established quicker and have immediately everything that they need. And it also depends whether you plant the rose as a bare root for rose or rose that is already potted. Bare root means that there is no earth on it, no pot. You can buy them now in the season. I think they sell it until end of April, and they are usually cheaper than the potted roses. Yeah, for sure, because the potted rose just needed a little bit more attention, and they had to plant it. So you can consider it, and especially for these bare root roses, they need the all the stuff in the earth. The potted roses usually have a lot of good earth in it already. They are established. They already have good roots. So you put everything with the whole pot ball or the earth that you have in it. But in both cases, I would simply put a little bit more of the good earth, a little bit more of earth improver, and then plant a rose. I'm so happy you are so you are so just chatty today. I am asking because I fell into this so-called David Austin Rosie trap, and after years of going back and forth, about whether or not to buy David Austin. I finally did. Oh, this is good. So I'm what kind of rose you already bought or want to buy? It would be very interesting. As I've said, there will be video next Thursday, as usual, about David Austin roses. The three favorites in my garden. I will not tell you today which ones, otherwise it will not be a surprise. But I did actually on David Austin roses, and really when you just think the English roses, about this breeder introduced actually the English roses into the world and created so many beautiful ones. I love them. I love them. The only point that I always am a little bit considered is the huge, the big, how big the bloom is. And therefore, I plant a lot of smaller varieties, smaller blooms, cluster blooms, because sometimes in my garden, when there is a rain, summer rain, after that, all the all the heads of the big roses are just hanging, and are sometimes even damaged. And these small blooms, clustered blooms, they simply stay. And yeah, are there for longer and longer. So they do not need that much attention as the David Austin roses. Apart from one rose, not a single David rose survived. And apart from one rose, not a single David rose. Wow. Hmm. Where you are from? So is it because of the weather? Was it potted or? But this is, I would say, kind of unusual. So maybe just let's put it this way: if this was something that you had, um, yeah, but maybe just the thought that I would have. Consider when you bought bare-root roses, maybe next time simply buy potted rose, because it's already established, and it may help you for the first time to grow it in your rose bed. And then consider where it was grown. And very important information that is always is, for the first 3 years of a rose, you need to water it. So a rose need 3 years to establish the root system as a tree. And after 3 essential years, you don't need to water it that much. Sometimes a little bit if it's really dry weather, but it's just because of the weather, not because the rose would not be healthy. So it's hard to say now what was the reason, but my experience with David Austin roses, and I bought some of the roses as well, were pretty good. But yeah. So, what was your first rose that captured your imagination and made you want to have a rose garden? Who? I actually honestly wanted to have rose garden since I can imagine. I come from a small village in Czech Republic, and we had their roses, but very few ones, more tea roses, and all of them the same. And I just know that I was dreaming of having some beautiful roses. It was at the time, I lived in communist country. So there was not really something you could choose from. It was just that and no other. So something that would be colorful, beautiful was not really an option at that point of time. And I do not know whether I saw it somewhere in a magazine. that I just started to dream of something beautiful as that. And then when I came here to Germany, I haven't had anything. So it was just only, yeah, like 10, 13 years ago when we were able to buy this house with the garden, that I could start finally to grow roses. So actually, the something that just caught my attention. It was many years ago, and when I spoke about in the video that I did on the color meaning of roses, you can see there that I loved them. Even at that time when I got married, I wanted to have roses as a bridal bouquet, and it was in November, so no roses were really there. And my yeah, they just delivered not yellow roses, but orangey roses that were beautiful. But I loved them all. So it's I think that there was not a particular point where I said I want to grow roses. I always wanted to have a beautiful garden, and yeah, just step by step the roses that I put into the garden. And I started with the dwarf roses, as I've shown you. One of them is the beautiful rose that I still have, the Verena. I have it in the back. And there is the rose, this Zwergenfee, red one, in front of the winter garden. I can show it here on the picture. You can see it here. This is the Zwergenfee, the red one that I still have in there. But the Verena is in the back of the garden, and it's now also in the pot because of the shape of this rose. It's so sweet, so beautiful, but it will not grow that big. So I put it first in the backyard when the hedge was pretty small and it looked beautiful. But later on, this was my mistake, realized that the hedge is growing and growing, and it was overgrowing this rose. So I replanted it and now have another beautiful David Austin rose, Country Parson, in there. If you are interested to have a look, it's just very pale yellow rose and smells beautifully. This was a rose, actually. This was a rose that I bought in the 2 years ago, I think, because of the fragrance. Because I was just running around the selling spots, and this rose was just so beautifully with the fragrance. It has just like, I would say, lemon fragrance for me, and I like it so much. So actually, this was it. So, but back to your questions. Could it be due to the soil, pure sand soil? Then yeah, this could be. So you need a soil that has nutrition into it, into there. I usually buy a soil that has all these nutrients already provided here in the normal, not supermarket, how do you call it, the center where you buy all the stuff. And I mixed it with the soil that is in there. But only sand is not good. It needs some kind of humus in there. And even there, you can buy, if you have very bad condition soil, you can buy a soil improver that you put into the hole before you put the rose in. And I know that a lot of breeders have on supply this kind of stuff because it's really good. And I use it every time when I have to replace a rose because of the tiredness of the soil after you just remove a rose. The background is that the rose itself as a plant produce soils, no, salts. Salts is the right word, and it goes into the earth around it, and it stays there. So you need to remove, if you replace a rose, remove the whole soil, put it aside, and with this improver, you improve the condition for the new one. Otherwise, it could, yeah, be an issue for the new rose that would not have the necessary conditions to grow and perform properly. Mhm. Most of my roses are insect friendly. I love all these roses with their open blooms so much. Yet I am still very new in gardening and roses, less than 2 years. This is perfect. And I very much like that you have roses that are bee friendly. I love them as well. I mean, we have to support our small friends around. And honestly, I was even thinking to have my own bees in the backyard because I wanted to support these animals. But there were few considerations why I have not done so. It was in time when Corona came, and I was just considering to go home and learn from my father, who is a beekeeper. But unfortunately, Corona just closed the borders, and I could not do that, visit them. And the second was that you actually need, if you put the house, the bee house, somewhere, you need just space for them to fly in and fly out. And it was not possible in my garden to find a space that would be good for them from the sun and how it is spaced, and not to lose actually the whole garden only for the bees. So yeah, I've never done so. But I also love these roses where the bloom is open and the bees can access it. And I really like the sound of bees in a garden. Oh, so Cleopatra, I very, very much feel with you. So I am still undecided whether to buy or not the rose vectors in it. Do you have more infos regarding? Hmm. Now I unfortunately not quite sure whether vectors in a. I have just two now images in my head. One is a rose that is shrub rose, a little bit how do you call it, purple, and the second is a yellow rose, but I'm not quite sure which one is it. But I will have a look into this rose. I have the feeling I have some footage on this rose, so I will find out and just let you know and give you more information about it. I do not have it in my garden myself, but it already caught my attention. With so many roses, sometimes I just get distracted about the names. And before I mix anything, I will have a look for you if I have some footage on it, and maybe just put a picture into the community post. I believe you are right because I was still new that roses, what roses regards, and I must be honest, I never know when to water a rose. I might do it too often or too less. I'm so confused and get emotional. Yeah, it's the question over when to um, when to water it, but it's the question where you have it. If you have it in a pot, then just what they do not like the roses to stay in water. So if you have a rose in a pot, you need to do it often, but make sure that the water can come out, that it's not standing in some kind of plate where the water would still stand. This is something that they definitely do not like. If you have it planted in your garden, it's just like for the first 3 years, if it's dry, you have to do it. You have to do it regularly. And it's just kind of hard to say how often. If there is no rain, I would go and really water them really good, at least every second, every third day, if it's very dry. If there is a rain, you can even skip it. Just make sure that everything is wet. So it's not just only this drizzling rain that actually do not go deeper. And I have even heard a breeder who told me that it's better for a rose not to put just irrigation and water it too much, because otherwise the rose would just create the roots very flat and would not grow as you need to grow it, so that it creates these deep roots where it takes from the earth the water, from the deep earth the water. So this is really hard, but I would go for it. Just see how it looks like. Water it when you have the feeling it's dry. Water it better really with full just can of water, and then let it 2 days without watering, and then water again if it's necessary. And I also get emotional when a rose is struggling. It's just like we love them. Do you ever have questions when you approach your roses? I mean, what regarding watering and fertilizing? How do you know when to truly water and fertilize? Well, watering, I just spoke about. About the fertilizing, there are two points in a year when I fertilize roses. And it's just, if you think about it, it's very rational. In the spring, when you cut the roses, and we cut always the roses when forsythia is blooming. It's just a bloomy shrub here in Germany, but I think that it's everywhere around the world. And if you do not have forsythia near your house to see that it's blooming, it's the point where you do not expect any frosty nights. So when forsythia is blooming, it's usually around March and April. We cut the roses, and when we cut it, it's like waking them up. They start to grow. They start to produce new leaves and start to produce the bloom. And exactly in this time, we fertilize. We clean the area and we put the fertilizer in so that the rose can use the power of it to create even more bloom and be healthy and all this kind of stuff. So this is the first time in a year that you fertilize. And the second time when you fertilize is the time when the first bloom is over. You have to deadhead your roses, because just to remove the old bloom so that the new shoots and new bloom can come in. And at this point, you should, when you deadhead again, put them the power, use the fertilizer, and just get the bloom. I know that there are fertilizers that are just kind of you fertilize only in the spring, and they just produce and provide the rose with the nutritions over the whole year, so you need to do it only once. Me personally, I prefer to do it twice a year, because I now then have better overview how much the roses really get and when I want to do the fertilizing. And that's it. It's just only twice a year. In autumn, nothing can be done. Otherwise, the rose would be confused and then produce maybe a new bloom, and then when the frost will come, will not be dormant enough and could freeze. Oh, this is not for me. This is great. Very sandy soil, and my first autumn didn't do well. I learned need to water much more often since the water drains away so fast. Also, I put horse manure on them. Horse manure is pretty good, and I know that some breeders or some producers even use horse manure to make a fertilizer and put it in there. And sometimes the fertilizer smells like horse manure a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any issue with that. But sometimes my children just say, "Oh, Mama, it's just smelling again the whole garden." And I know that my dog loved horse manure. So when I put it around the rows, and if you have also a small dog, it's good to work it into the earth and not to let it around. Otherwise, your dog will come with the mouth full of the fertilizer. I purchased pink roses, but seeing your beautiful garden photos, I need accent colors and some miniature rose. Yeah, I mean the accent color is really good, and I, if you have a look on my roses in pots that I added this year, and there are a lot of purple colored roses, like the Minerva. Oh, this is just so beautiful color. Or Heidi Klum, the dwarf rose. I made again a video. Maybe you have seen that on them. But just putting or buying only one sort of color which will not create the effect sometimes you want. And for me, when you put to these roses, to pink ones, the dark purple, dark red, carmine red would just let them shine and make them really just fairy like roses. And you can see it. Do I have it here as well in this one? Just let me show you here. In this picture that I actually have the Super Excelsa, but below it I placed roses exactly as you said, the pink ones. Like here, Henrian de Gerlach are two roses, small shrub roses, or the miniature rose here. In the one edge is Portofino dwarf rose. Or here, this is the little white pet, just next to the bellflower, and to the neck is honey milk, also dwarf rose. Dwarf roses are good, but make sure that you put them in a place that they are not overgrown by the other roses. And this is exactly here why they are in front of the other roses. So because it's really so easy to plant them too near of lavendel or whatever you want to plant together with the roses, and then it's just not nice, because either you have to remove the lavendel and cut it back, or you have to a rose that will not get enough sun and enough space. But it is exactly, this is like the Super Excels I have is a great contrast to the other. So is it purple violet? Not quite sure if you mean the Super Excelsa. This is not purple violet, but the Minerva is just purple violet, or the Heidi Klum. They are just, they change the color, and then just when the bloom matures, it's really a violet color, and it's just paling into this color. It's just look the The lavendel roses, and especially the purple violet ones, look beautiful next to white and pink roses. It's just the color contrast that they create. I like it so much. Yes, you have a footage about Vector Sinne, and I thought you bought it. No, 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 not yet, not yet. There are so many roses I would like to buy, but not really about well, not able to buy at once. But I'm already looking forward to add new ones into my rose bed. So if you have seen it already, then you you know which one yeah we have. But I do not have it in my garden at the moment. Yeah. Okay. So you said the vectors in is purple-violet with yellow middle. Yeah, I know. I know. No, it was with in the video when I visited Rosenpark Dräger in autumn, and there was vectors in one of the roses that I've seen, and it looked beautiful. Yeah, I do remember, but I do not have it in my garden for the moment. For the fear of killing my roses, I never fertilize them. I only provide them with mycorrhiza fungi once a year and very thick layer of leaves in autumn. I do not even know what fertilizer to use. Hmm. I mean, if you when you plant a rose that is already potted, for that year you do not need to fertilize it at that year because the rose comes with a lot of very good soil itself. And to put some, like you said, Mycorrhiza fungi, this is probably improver, soil improver. It's great, and I think that David Austin provides something like this when you buy a rose from him that you can apply it. And I mean, you can have a look into the yeah or look on the breeder's page. Honestly, if you are unsure which kind of fertilizer to use, or just search in internet uh, just for rose fertilizer, and there will be, you will find a lot of them. There are so many. I know myself that I always have to which one to use. There is one Oscorna called Oscorna, but I do not know where you live, so it's hard to say whether you will find the same in your area. That is used very often to fertilize and improve the earth here in Germany. So yeah, just if you buy it, just have a look what is on the label, and just maybe for the first time, do not use that much, and you will see how it performs, how it looks like. Uh, I think that if you not do not too much, it will not hurt the rose. And if you plant it in a pot, you can even put it there, and it's watering through the rose, through the pot out. So you would even have to put a little bit more fertilizer when you have the rose in a pot. So I don't think that you could do that much harm with that if you just apply it with just start with maybe smaller amount and then put a little bit more. What is your opinion on biochar? I think it's charred wood. Whoop. I've never heard about biochar. I do not know what is it. Charred wood? Ash. Hmm. Unfortunately, this one I cannot answer. I will have a look. What is biochar? Biochar? But unfortunately cannot help you this time. Cleopatra, I'm so sorry. If anyone else know what is it and can help, I would very much love to that you could just put it down here. So, any other question? Or just, oh, interesting. I never knew. So, oh, interesting. I never knew thought about fertilizing a potted rose even more than a planted rose. Yes, it is. And I know that there are special fertilizer for a potted rose that they have just on purchase that you can put there. Because actually, as I've said, if you put the fertilizer up there into the pot, it's just watering out. If it's not a chemistry, it's just organic one, and I only use organic fertilizers. Maybe this is one point that is important for you. Then you just it's just do not harm the rose, but it disappears with you watering it out of the rose. So you can for sure use a little bit more on there. I did not do, to be honest, I have not done more fertilizing my potted rose than the other rose, twice a year only for the moment. But I'm considering to try to fertilize them a little bit more in the next season. So thank you very much. I believe birch is burnt wood. But I do not know how to use it. Asche. Asche is in German. Yeah, but honestly, do not know how to use it. Asche. I've heard that asche is good for fertilizing. What I've also heard that you could actually use as a fertilizer for roses is powder of coffee. The coffee powder that when you make your coffee, and there is a powder that you could collect it and fertilize roses. I've even done it once, but I have so many roses that it's just useless. And you have to really work it into the earth around your rose, because otherwise it would just stay on the top of the earth and be very fungi one. I would say the fungus would eat it. So this is something that you could use. And I've heard about the asche when I think about it, yes, but I do not use it for myself. I would have to look that up. Charred wood, it's zinc asche. Yeah, probably it is. I've heard something about that. So, are there any other questions? Oh, I'm so happy today. It was so wonderful with you. Oh, I would only love to see a little bit more roses and be able to speak to you again about roses next time, and to see your roses, because it's always just exciting to see that. My mom in my homeland used it every year in her veggie and fruit tree garden, but I never did it. Yeah, as I've said, I've something about it I've heard when you say asche, but I would first need to check. I do not know. Before I do something like experimenting, I search for that, because even with the powder of the coffee, there are some plants that do not like it, and there may be accompanying plants next to the roses that do not like exactly this. So I'm very cautious about that. Yeah, and before I experiment with anything, um, I very much do the research about that. Can you tell me about the gardens and road gardens and Sangerhausen? Have you ever been there? No, I have not been there. I actually plan to visit some of the rose gardens in Europe this year, but I've never been there. And I think the Rosarium Sagenhausen, isn't it the one in the in the north of Germany? I would have to look into it, but it must be beautiful. Unfortunately, I have to pass this one, but I very much like the one that I've visited, the Rosenparkträger in Steinfurt. It's so beautiful. Yes, indeed. Especially Rhododen do not like Asche. Yeah, this is exactly what I mean. So it's just kind of what you have in your garden, and you must be very cautious how you apply it, what is applied for forever by the people for the fruit vegetable garden, for what is applied for the roses and for the accompanying plants. And I'm not quite sure. I think that peonies do not like the powder of coffee as a fertilizer. But this is exactly what you need to check before you apply something like this. For the fertilizer that I use, that are just the manure of on the organic fertilizer um, on the basis of manure. I actually put it everywhere, just around the roses, and I do not need really to care if there are other plants around. So it's simpler for me. And I never thought to use actually anything else apart of the coffee powder, but it was just a mess to collect it. And as I said, it was just a little bit too rosy, and that was it. And the rest I still had to fertilize. So I lost the patience and bought the fertilizer and spread it around the roses. Okay, so are there any other questions? So I see that the fertilizing stuff is out in is in of interest, and I like that. So hopefully you already planned for the rose garden for the roses this year. Oh, I do as well. But it's just kind of stretch to plan everything, and honestly, next to the full-time job, just to plan everything and make the beds and all this kind of stuff. So somehow I need to arrange. But I hope that you arranged as well, so that we can together plant beautiful roses this year again and speak about them and just meet next time here. So, have you ever tried to get rid of pests on your roses? I haven't. I let nature take its course, and if a rose is meant to survive, then so be it. This is wonderful. Yeah, I actually do for the pests. So the major two pests that we have here are the mildew and the rust, rusty spots on roses. And I apply just chemistry, just spray them when the roses actually start to grow the first time. I think it's end of April, May, the first time I applied. And then I try to repeat that because I know that my rose garden is partial shade. I hardly have an area in my garden that would really have sun the whole day. Maybe in front of the winter garden, it's the only space where the roses usually perform pretty good. But again, there is the other issue in front of the winter garden is that it's too much sun for them sometimes. So I apply something against the pest, but for sure I apply only stuff that is bee friendly. And we will have to look how this evolves, because I know that in Europe, I think from this year on, there is only one um, stuff that you can apply on roses. And this is an issue, because if you apply particular chemistry to put back the pests on the roses, then the roses get resistance against it if you apply it more than twice a year. So we will have to find out some other way how to protect them and how to support them in a grow and make them beautiful without the other stuff that you could use until now. So I do it. I do it. I mean, especially roses that are beautiful, but are that not that resistant. They need support. Usually, in the first flush, looks pretty good, beautiful, and then it starts to get all these diseases when the summer is going on with all the different hot and wet weathers. It simply comes. Thank you for sharing your passion and knowledge of roses with us. Oh, this is so nice. You are welcome. You are so welcome. And I like that you are here with me and that you have the same passion as I have. It's just sometimes, not I do not know if you know it as well, but sometimes when you speak with someone who is not that interested in roses, and you start to just explain passionately how beautiful they are and what is this rose about and the background of that rose, oh, they get bored. So it's nice to find out friends who would love it and love to speak about roses and what you are doing, and just exchange the experience. I like it so much. Do you use organic spray for the pest? Well, I just use what is sold and it's just provided. I do not know if it's organic. It may be, because it smells horribly. To be honest, it smells horribly, so probably it is. But I never took that much attention. I always took attention to have a look on the label that it's insect and bee friendly, so that it will not harm anyone from this family. But if it's allowed and it's fine, and when it smells that bad, it's probably organic. I understand what you mean when you say that the roses become resistant to the chemical agents and the pests may still continue and destroy the roses. Yes, this is it. But exactly, I mean, it is just how we treat the roses. We try to help them, but we need to know about this stuff, the chemistry, how it works, and it's important to know. And if you know, just then, well, the worst thing that you can do, that you already twice sprayed, then you have to leave the roses then without any treatment, or find out another way how to do it. And I really want to search for that as well, how to make some kind of other protection, maybe something that is already found by breeders, and would just be an idea from a breeder how we can do it without having different kind of this organic sprays or organic or the chemistry that you can already buy on the market. So I'm quite sure that they will find something that will support the rose lover in our families. What is the most pleasant fragrant rose in your garden? Hmm. I have said, I think that Gertrude Jekyll is one of the really roses that I love so much. It's just it I really like when you go around the rose and it's just you get it into your nose, and sometimes it's kind of um, just observation from me. The roses do not smell the whole day long. Sometimes I have the feeling that it's just in the evening it smells, and in the morning it's not that fragrant. It probably has something with the temperature. But Gertrude Jekyll is one of the roses that smell absolutely beautiful. And also the Tess of the d'Urberville is a wonderful rose. And I have other roses from David Austin that are very fragrant. There is the Mayflower and the Country Parson that I bought because of this lemon fragrance that it had. But I mean, this is really something that uh, if you want to have a rose, a particular rose, there are different types of fragrances, Moschus fragrance. I've been even to English Garden Days this year in Rosenpark, Träger, and they had, I think, 5 or 6 just roses in a vase, and you could smell the differences between the fragrance. And it's just really amazing that they are so different and can be so different. But I like this old English rose fragrance. Yes, so I'm just for the Gertrude Jekyll, definitely a rose I would buy again for the fragrance. I'm asking because I have a rose that is described as strong and wonderfully fragrant, but its scent is so unpleasant to my nose. Oh, could be. This is what I've said. There are just like different types of rose fragrances. Some fragrances are into the old English rose. Some of them are more of the lemon, moschus roses. And yeah, I do remember when I was there that there were significant differences to how you just feel about the rose. But exactly, this is something that you probably have to consider when you go and buy a rose. And this is nothing that you can do with bare root roses. You have to go to a breeder, to a show garden, as someone said here in Germany, Sagenhausen. Just go there and just smell it before you buy it. Sometimes it's worth waiting and then just do it in this way. And there is another rose that I bought because of the beautiful fragrance. One of my very first roses, and it's a damask rose, Jacques Cartier. It's wonderful pink rose, and it smells wonderfully. But again, this is just my preference. I have it planted in my backyard. And for damask rose, they're usually not repeat blooming roses. This one is one that repeats bloom, and it's just great. And as I said, caught my nose. I know exactly what you mean about trying to talk to non-rose lovers about roses. Yes, yes, it's just like I know that we are probably boring the others with the roses, but it's fine, and it's just fun because I know that the people then know that you love roses, and once they need have a question or need an advice, then they will come and ask you for the roses. And it was in my family also, they just said, "You are crazy planting so many roses and roses here, roses there, everywhere." Just like it was really horrible. But nowadays they simply enjoy. They just let me do whatever I want usually, and support me and enjoy just the beauty. And this is fine. I just think this is my hobby, planting roses. Please do not interfere. Just have a look and don't think that I'm crazy. Just enjoy. And this is as it is. So my friends, oh my God, yeah, already 1.5 hours here. It's great. I did not expect that. So unless there are any questions, I think that we leave it here. It's really, oh, the time flew with you so quickly, really, really quickly. But I think that we leave it here. If there are any other questions later on, I will answer them. Uh, Today, now it's 9:30. It's 8:30 in the evening here in Germany. Do not know where you are here. Oh, do you grow clematis with your roses for the one-time bloomers? No, I just wanted to close, but I love your question. So, Therese, no, I do not grow them, but I considered to do so. I know that it is beautiful, especially if you have it on obelisk, to put it on the side of a rose. But for the time being, I was just planting roses, and there was not space for clematis either. They still need some space to live. But yeah, it is a great possibility, especially if you want to overcome the time when the first flush is over, and then just you have to deadhead the roses, and it takes some time before the new bloom will come. So when you put a clematis next to the rose, it's usually exactly the time when the rose is not blooming, when the clematis is blooming, and sometimes even they can support, if they bloom in the same time, support the colors can support each other. So like I can very much imagine pale rambler with like the Albrighton rambler, very nice rose, next to purple clematis. It must be pretty nice, but I do not have it at the moment in my garden. Cleopatra, you own Jacques Cartier rose. I find its fragrance neither strong nor overwhelming, but it does indeed bloom several times. I love it. I'm speechless because in my garden it really provide a lot of fragrance in the patio. I even thought about not to add more of Jacques Cartier in the patio, or more fragrant roses, because I was a little bit considered that too much of a fragrance is not that good. Just to get only the slight sense of it. Yeah, but yeah, it's nice to hear about your experience. So it may be, I do not know, the surrounding where you live. But because I've become a lover of insect-friendly roses, I do not like the Jacques Cartier rose anymore. Oh, it's a pity. Yeah, but it's as it is. You are evolving into rose lover and finding out the varieties that you like. Me personally, I would not like to miss Jacques Cartier or the other roses that have the full bloom. I combined it. I do not buy only bee friendly roses. I love them, but I also buy the really classic ones with the full fragrant blooms. Hi. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Lynn. Thank you so much. You are a wonderful host. I'm so dearly looking forward to the next videos, whether live or uploaded. Oh, Cleopatra, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's really great. And I am just closing this week. So, so happy that you joined me on this live stream, that we had so wonderful conversation about roses, about how to treat them, about garden design. And as I said at the beginning, it's about the evolving, about the first rose that you plant. And from there on, you start to create your garden and the design, the structures, put it in, and then sometimes remove it, remove a rose if you do not like it anymore, and put any other rose that you simply like much better, or simply put it into other space, a space that would be well. If you do not have a limited space, you can put it somewhere else and just forget about the rose if you do not like it anymore. So thank you very much for being here with me today once again. And with that, I'm looking forward to speak to you again next Sunday, next Thursday, the video about 3 beautiful David Austin roses. And with that, I wish you a very nice rest of the Sunday. For some of you, it will be, if you are in Europe, just only a few hours, and good start into the next week. I speak to you soon. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.